Adam, and welcome to my restoration of a DINKY Model 105 MSV, the maximum security vehicle. It came from the TV show Captain Scarlet, which was a TV series in 1967 to 68, and these toys were made around about 68 to 74. Probably not as popular as some of the others, and this was picked up fairly cheaply on eBay in this state. So the first thing we're going to do is take it apart. Here you can see the markings on the bottom, and the Century 21 toys sort of shows it's an earlier model. The door look on this one, so it's not too bad condition. A bit chipped and scraped, plenty of play, thrown in toy boxes, things like that. Now to take these apart, it's really easy. There's no rivets, it's just like a single screw. Underneath takes the bottom off, and you just pop the plate off. The wheels are sort of held in on a little axle, and they've got a spring which gives it a nice bit of suspension. You can just pop these out, put them to one side. Take out the sort of centre container, which is like a walkway through. It actually holds the doors in. Actually, it's got designed quite well actually to keep them in place. Not really much interior detail in these at all. Bit of overspray probably from when they made it, and I think the stickers are starting to peel off as well. You can still get these online, so we'll be ordering up a set of stickers and transfers. The red stripe you can see on the side, and this is like either painted or a sticker. I think what we're going to do is replace this with a sticker, make it easier. Okay, so we're going to strip the paint off of this, and what I'm going to use here is it's a company called Screwfix. They do cheap paint strip and varnish, same as B&Q and DIY. They've got a own brand called Dial as well, and it's about £9 a litre compared to like Nitramores, which is about £13–14 a litre, so it's a bit cheaper. Takes a little bit longer to take effect, but it's not so bad on the hands either. It's not quite so stringent. Just got to really sort of work it all in everywhere and then just leave it. What I tend to do with this is leave it for about 40 minutes, and then you can sort of scrape a lot of the paint off, but it really needs like several coats, probably about 2 applications gets most of the paint off. Going to do the same with the base as well. Just get plenty of this paint stripper on it and let it just soak in really. Gets most of the paint off, and then do the same with the doors. Got to get them cleaned, and then once that's been soaking for about 40 minutes or so, just a good old brush in water cleans most of it off, and I've got some sort of like stiff nylon brushes to do that. And the really sort of tricky, it's like a brass wire brush that comes in really handy as well. It gets like all the mould lines as well, and then you go with a pin or a scalpel and pick out those pieces just to get it really nice clean. Just going to pop the wheels off the hubs and then soak them in some detergent. Gets them sort of pretty much clean, and again we've got a little bit of a wire brushing with a brass brush just to get some, looks like someone's painted it at some point, so get some of that paint out as well. Keep it nice and clean. They're pretty good condition, so we'll be using those again. Now these hubs, they're like really good actually. They're spun aluminium. So what we're going to do here is just pop them in a drill and do the chuck up. Unfortunately, the chuck opens up wide enough to get them in without having to take the hubs off. And then just a bit of fine wire wool, really. I'm going to spin that up, and that'll give them a nice sort of clean and a polish, and it'll keep the sort of the spun aluminium look that they originally had. A bit on the shaft as well, just to get some muck off of those and clean them up. The wheels hadn't dried out too much, they weren't too hard, so they can just pop straight back onto the rims, which are nice and shiny now. So we'll take the old toothbrush detergent again and clean up all the plastic pieces. There's like this interior piece, a couple of steps, and scrub the worst off and then just let them soak for a couple of hours, and that kind of seems to bring the plastic back in this situation quite clean. Like taking the body, once that's been paint stripped, get a wire brush on the sort of Dremel and just really cleaning out all the mould lines and some pieces that have been missed inside. It's nice to get a really good finish on this. Makes it much easier to get the paint on and gives a smooth finish. Also gone over it with wire wool as well, just to sort of help key up the surface and just keep it nice and clean, really nice and shiny. Likewise with the base plate, you need the wire brush to get in amongst the lettering, just so that when that's painted up, all that will look nice and crisp and sharp and clean. Now we get on to the painting bit. I'm using a Wata Neo brush here actually. It's like a 40 quid air compressor kit, which came with an airbrush, which was basically useless. So using some cellulose based primer actually in this case, to get a good keying surface, and the reason for this is actually using like a cellulose paint for the top coats, which you'll sort of see in a minute. Although for the actual base, to match that red, it was like a mixture of Tamiya that was mixed up. Just making sure to get pretty good coverage on this to keep it all nice and covered. Just making sure here really to get into all the nooks and crannies. I've got a pair of mosquito forceps here just to help hold the thing. You can get them on eBay for a couple of quid really. They're pretty cheap, really useful to have around. Spraying this at about, I think about 20 psi, gives a nice sort of coverage, plenty of spread on that. Once that's finished, I'm going to put a plastic bowl over it to keep the dust off and let it dry out. So this is the sort of Tamiya X7 with a little touch of white actually, so it's just sort of make it slightly lighter red, which matched the original quite well. Sort of the trick with these, or the pain with these Tamiyas is to try and get them nice gloss finish, and you have to put it on quite thick. With these it's quite easy because you're not sort of susceptible to it running so much. Get a plastic bowl over just to keep all the dust that's flying around from the workshop landed on it. Now this is the white coat that's going on, and this is a snow white mix from a guy called Steve Flowers, who does a shop. Get a bit of dust off of here, but this is supposed to be like colour matched to the original paint scheme. Comes out really quite nice. It's like a cellulose base, so you get some cellulose thinners from Halfords, I think. Mix that up, and that sprays through the brush pretty okay. Then we got some goodies come through in the post, and we've got a reproduction box, some new stickers, transfers. I've got a radioactive box with the gold bars in it as well around somewhere. So this gives it the finishing touch. I'm not sure I'd do this again because it's quite an expensive box, really. It was almost as much as the actual model cost from eBay. But I think for the purpose of this, it looked quite nice. There's a couple of places that do stickers, and this Acme 3000 actually do stickers that are shiny. Quite a few other people just seem to do stickers that are just a silver, and obviously the original had shiny, so we have those. And the aerial, that kind of, I think that disappeared on the original models in probably the first 10 minutes. So with the transfers, they're water slides, so we're going to trim those down, cut as much away of the backing material as I can in these, because the model in like sort of recesses. Silver strip needs a bit of trimming, so you have to trim it down the sides, and also where the aerial post on the top is has to cut out. So I've got a really nice new scalpel blade for that one, and they peel off the backing, and they just stick onto the MSV. Just trying to get them straight here. Eventually we'll get them straight. Maybe I'll try again and I'll get them straight. Fortunately they're not too sticky because you can reposition it a couple of times, but eventually it goes on. Likewise with the back sticker, that slips over the aerial post, so press it down. Again, getting that cut, getting a clean cut for that was quite important before it would go on. Now with the water slides, I'm not actually using water, I'm going to use a thing called Decal Fix or Decal Fix from Humbrol, and basically it's just a sort of wetting agent. Drop the transfers into that, and you can then sort of slide them around for a little bit longer than you would with water, it seems. Plus when they dry, not so much on these ones, but they really sort of suck themselves down and show up any detail that's underneath them. A bit more Decal Fix on top of them just to keep them damp while you're moving around, and then just leave them to dry out. They don't seem to take too long. Slide them off the transfer backing quite easily now and just move into place. So, assembly time. First of all, get the axles in, and need a bit judicious with the screwdriver to get them put into place. snapping quite easily. Doors here, you see, are held in with the central compartment, which sort of locks them in place. It snaps you nicely. And the steps, just make sure the steps are in the right place or in the right orientation. Base plate just goes back on again, and I think I actually polished the screw up this little wire brush just to get some surface grime off of it. That just screws back in and holds it into place. This is the radiative box, which is actually apparently from a big smack model. They're actually gold bars. Decided to put a radioactive stick on it. I'm not sure why they're transporting radioactive boxes around in crates. And here is 1.5mm. It's from Great Plains, this stuff, but you can get it from quite a few places. It's like a line tape, and that's quite. There was, I think, the second lot came out with tape. The first ones were painted, but that goes on nice and easy. Just rub it down with the back of a paintbrush just to keep it skin, and take a scalpel and then just go through the cut lines so that the doors open. And that is the MSV maximum security vehicle from Captain Scarlet, all finished, nice and shiny. So subscribe if you like. I've got a few more of these models to do. Thanks for watching.